take off your hat. And I want this booklet on your desk, right here. If you don't have this booklet, you can write the information I give you on the back of the cocaine one. And I'd also like you to have these two, cocaine and crack. If you don't have them, you can bring them with you tomorrow. But the information I give you, again, you can write it on the back of the sheet. Appreciate it. Do that tomorrow. Okay?
Just starting off, this is a health class, so I have, and she was discussing crack and cocaine, so I'm assuming that they're going to be talking about drugs. I don't know the specific signs for drugs. At this time, I would probably fingerspell it. Another thing that just right off the bat, a student asked a question, it wasn't audible, couldn't hear what she was saying, and the teacher just answered her. She didn't repeat her question, so um, if this goes on where students ask questions and I can't hear it, I would ask the professor or teacher if she could repeat the students' questions for me so that I can interpret them and also her answer.
Okay, before we get started, I want to go over two things. Frank, take that off, please. Let's talk about your projects. I have most of your projects over there, which I will ask you at the end of the period, and I want to explain to you how I grade them. If you have a question about your grade, you want to negotiate, come back and we will. What you were supposed to do is take your name, write it down the side of the paper for us somehow, and then use each letter of your name to come up with a good, positive, descriptive word about yourself. Some of your posters, your projects were excellent. Some of the things I received were superb. Some of them were good, not quite superb, but good. Some of them were okay, and then there were none. No, some. How did I grade them? 35 points was for your descriptive word. Now, I told you that's 35 points. Words should have been positive. So if you had all your words and all of your words were positive, you got 35 points. Bingo. Some of you used negative words, and that cost you. Some of you also had horrible spelling, and that cost you. Write the word correctly, okay? So that was the first thing. Then you got 35 points for creativity. Now, I told you do something creative with it. I know some of you are not artistic people. Some of you can't draw. I can't draw. You know that. So you don't have to do beautiful artistic work. But you could have cut pictures out of magazines or newspapers, or you could have drawn, even if you drew little flowers under it, some people did, whatever, to make it colorful. That got you 35 points. In all, I'd say probably out of 200 projects, maybe 6 or 8 of them were very artistic. Obviously, people were very talented. But the rest of them were not. We just had people taking some really nice pictures, cutting them out, putting them on neatly, newspaper comments, etc. Almost organized here. Okay. That was 35 points. 25 points was neatness. You know, when you wrote your things, were they straight? Were they orderly? Or did you kind of write up and down all over the place? That was important. And the last 5 points, the other, is you got 5 points if you did it. So if you did it, you automatically started off with those 5 points. And I will give it back to you at the end. It's worth a test grade. Like I said, the majority of the ones that came through here were very, very nicely done, and I was very, very impressed. I think they were excellent. Second thing is the extra credit. Somebody, by the way, did an extra credit assignment, put it on a white sheet of paper. Okay, I didn't put a name on it, so I have no idea what paper it is. So if you did one of those, you might want to check with me again. You had 2 extra credit assignments. The first extra credit assignment was cleaning out the medicine cabinet, and that was worth 2 points added onto your grade. The article was worth 3 points. So if you did, you may say, well, that's
she uses a lot of this and that during her lecture, so that could be a challenge with determining what this means and what that means. So as the interpreter, I would probably talk to her about eliminating that kind of language out of her vocabulary for this particular class, just to make my job a little bit easier, or clarify at least if she uses this, what this means.
Where they take an important person and that person says use this product. Or if they say that they use a product like Pepsi and they show a group of people having fun, that's one of the techniques. So you find three advertisements on anything in a newspaper, in a magazine, cut them out neatly, put them on a piece of paper. You can use white line paper on the front and then on the back. Just write which technique you think is being used. Or if it's a small advertisement, put it up on top and then on the bottom. You don't have to write me a 5-page paper. I don't want a 5-page paper. Just cut out the advertisement in 2 or 3 lines, write which technique you're using to try to use, and explain that. Any questions? That's any questions? Anyone else? Now this was due tomorrow. I will give you till Monday. If you have it done tomorrow, hand it in. Otherwise, okay. Okay? All right. Now, if you open your book to page 21. One of you, any 3. So if you've got one advertisement, you help which technique, and they're all technique. On page 21, what I'd like to do today is finish up with the Hey Fool booklet. Finish up talking about why people do drugs and use this to refer back to the videotape we saw last week. Or the videotape I saw, I'm not sure what some of you were watching. Because some of your answers, I don't think you saw the same tape. But that's okay. We'll talk about that. And then we'll talk about the second part of this book, and then we'll go on to cocaine. If we get through as much as I'd like to get through today, and I'll let you know at the end of the period, I have a full period tape for tomorrow, which I can still receive. We had that an after school special. Quite a bit today. On page 21, we've already gone through page 21. We had gone through each section. Look over your booklets, and we talked about the different reasons why people use drugs. Notice we have them categorized as emotional reasons, physical reasons, social reasons, and the intellectual reasons. And we had picked out in each category what we thought were key reasons why people use the drugs. We did that the last time. Now I'd like to talk about the videotape. Remember the 3 people in the videotape? Felipe? Okay. The drug driving. Jill, using the cocaine at the party. And the little kid, Eddie, using what? Crack. If you can think back, what were the reasons that those people did the drugs? Think back to, and I know this was last week, but think back to Felipe. Remember he was out in his yard shooting the basketballs with his friends, and they got in the car and they drove off, and we know they died in a drug driving accident. Can you remember what he gave? What were some of the reasons he was using the alcohol? And they were also using pot. Think back to what they said. They said some real clear things. Good, right?
So for health class, it's really important to make sure that I use appropriate signs, so that the other kids, when the teacher says pot or cocaine or crack, and they see me sign a specific sign for the drugs, that they won't use that against the deaf person or just use it inappropriately. So I would have to make the decision whether or not to sign the actual sign, if there is one, or just to finger spell the word out.
Said that because they're going to college and everyone's
excellent. Excellent. That's where going to college, and all the boys and girls in college do it. That was one of his reasons. He was saying it's okay for me to do it because everybody else is doing it. It's terrific success. Right. Do you remember exactly how he said that? He didn't say my father. Yeah, if my old man can do it, I can do it. Exactly. So he used that as another fun. Why was he drinking in the first place? Because he made the winning shot in the game. He was celebrating the fact that he had just won the ball game for his team. Celebration. His father was a drinker. It's all the kids in college. What were some of the other reasons you think he continued to drink? To show off for whom? Right, his friend, the other kid is, I don't know if the other kid was his brother or the other kid's brother or whatever, but the other two. Well, why else do you think he continued to use it?
another good thing to know is that they're talking about something that they've already seen the video, I'm assuming. So, if you would miss a sign or miss something that somebody said, or you should already I should have already had the schema of what was going on because I probably watched the videotape before already too. So when the teacher's asking these questions, I can also in my mind think of the answer to kind of like predict what the students are going to say. So using that schema and what I already know about the subject will help with this as well.
Say that again. Okay, so that he would know that you'd be willing to do anything. Okay, again, to kind of impress them, pretend to relax. Remember, what did she say about herself? Remember how she described herself? Remember? Remember? Okay, she said very nervous, right? Okay, right. Yeah, that kind of goes right along with what he said, what Donnie said, what Ramon said, to impress them, to get him to like her. Remember, right in there, she said somehow she always felt very shy.